Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the US, which is 10 a.m. if you're in Australia or 1 a.m. if you're in the UK. And remember, if you miss the live streams, you can catch up with the premiere event streams on a Friday and Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific time in the US, which is 7 a.m. in Australia or 10 p.m. if you are in the UK. I hope all you guys and girls are well. Sorry about last week, guys. I got called away for work. I'm sorry, I'm just a bit distracted here with my email. Okay. So sorry about last week, guys. I got called away for work. To send me up to Sydney, which makes a nice change because it's normally the middle of Australia to some desolate mining site in the middle of nowhere. That happened last week, so I couldn't stream, but I'm back this week. I'm raring to go. We're going to jump back into the Temple of the Winds that we're creating in 3D Studio Max. We're texturing it up at the moment in Substance Painter. And we're going to take it into Eon View to do some beauty renders. Cookie, it's good to see you, Cookie. How are you? I hope you're well. It's good to see you. I saw the gun you posted in Discord. We'll have a look at some of the Discord stuff in a minute. I'm catching up with everything after last week. A few people have posted some stuff in Discord. Just excuse me for a sec while I grab a drink, guys. Okay. So it's good to see you though. Hope you're well. So yes, let's have a look actually. I'm just going to jump into the Discord server here. Anyone that doesn't know, you can join the Phil Does 3D Discord server by clicking this link I've just popped into chat, or you can join at any time by clicking in the blue graphic below my stream and my panels. There's a gallery section where you can show off your work, and I'm about to show off something Cookie just posted on the Discord server. Okay, let me copy the link. Let me open up the browser. So yeah, you guys can post links to your images that you're working on in the gallery section. If you don't know who I am and you want to know more about me, you can go to phildoes3d.com and you can read up about me there. There's links to my social media and all that sort of stuff there. Very nice. Let me just zoom in here. Very nice Cookie. This is a gun that Cookie is working on. Low poly. And started texturing in Substance Painter. Good to hear. Gun's looking great. Nice low poly there. Clean edge loops, which is good. The Beretta. Nice. Nice work. Shark. It's been a while, Shark. It has. I hope you're well. I hope you had a good weekend. Again, sorry guys for last week. I got called up to Sydney for work. They're doing a large project up in Sydney, and I had to go up and do some photogrammetry of the facades because what they're doing is they're demolishing the back up. I've told you guys this before with work. A lot of their work is creating modern architecture behind period facades. So they were demolishing the back of this period building, but because of heritage, they have to keep the facade. Good. I like the old facades. So I had to go up and do some photogrammetry for that. That was the reason I got sent up to Sydney. It's good to see you though, Shark. Good to see you too, Cookies. Smurfberry Barbecue. It's good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Shark says I'm a bit unwell, sickness, but otherwise all good. Oh, that's no good, Shark. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I hope you get better soon. It's never nice when you're sick. Never, never, never. Actually, it's funny. You don't appreciate how good it is to be healthy until you get sick. It's like when you're sick with the flu or the cold or something, you don't really understand just how nice it feels not to be sick. You sort of take it for granted, you know what I mean? Nothing serious. Well, that's good to hear. Yep, but the gun looks awesome, Cookie. Awesome. And I also want to show Smurfberry Barbecue's plant because it looks really cool as well. Let me copy the link. There's a couple of... Smurfberry posted quite a few images here. I'll just show a couple of them. And you guys jump on the Discord server if you want to see the others. Just going to post in the other link. And we're going to check them out. It looks so cool, Smokeberry. I love the texture you've got going on here in the main body of the plant. It looks really cool. I love the colours as well. This tealy blue, green, and the purple, pinky purple. Looks really nice. Really nice. And the model as well. The model is really cool. It's so creepy and so alien. I love it. This is a tree that Smokeberry did in the background as well. Note the plant is looking mega cool. I think Smokeberry is doing this to put in a game level or mod. Sniper Girl, it's good to see you as well. I hope you're well. Again, sorry guys for not being on last week. It couldn't be helped. They had to send me to Sydney. But it was doing photogrammetry, which I love, so that's cool. And it was doing a facade, which I love, period building, so that was cool too. Sniper Girl says, agreed. It's cool, creepy, looks like it's going to eat. It does. It does. It does look like it's going to eat you. It is mega creepy and mega cool. And the texture and colouring, I really like the colouring as well. I've said this to you guys before as well. It can be really hard to texture an object. I think a lot of people that don't do 3D like we do might take for granted just how hard it can be to texture something up properly. They think, oh, how hard can it be? It can be difficult. Number one, UVing it. Number two, texturing it itself with textures, and then making sure everything blends really nicely together. And the colour scheme going on here is really nice. It blends really well. It's really distinctive, really unique. It suits the object, and Smokeberry's done a really good job. Also, Sniper Girl, she's been doing a post-apocalyptic van in the Discord server. She's posted images on Discord. You should check that out because she did a great job texturing that up as well. And I do want to show some of Sniper Girl's stuff as well because you guys have been prolific in the Discord server with posting images to your work, which is great because you guys know I love to see the stuff that you are making. Again, I won't show every image. I'll just cherry pick some here. Let's have a look at this one. So again, this is an environment that Sniper Girl is now making for her van, her post-apocalyptic van. She's created a diner and she's done these images. She hasn't textured it up yet, but that's cool. Lots of detail going on here. I love it. Love all the detail she's put in. The barbed wire, the wiring, the pallets and everything in the background, cargo container. All the detail really helps to sell an environment. Even down to the chains here on the fire hydrant. It all looks really cool. Yeah, very cool. My only critique at the moment is this might look a bit clean, but obviously you're still working on stuff, so I'm not gonna harp on about that. But just that cement barrier, maybe chip it up a bit, which I'm sure she will do. She's done an amazing job. It's all my fault, is it, Sniper Girl? Oh, well, I'll take that blame any day. I don't mind. If you guys want to blame me for making you do 3D, then that's cool. I don't have a problem with that at all. And this is the roof of the cafe by the look of it. And she's been working on neon signs as well, which is really cool. I love this dog as well. It's very cool. Textured up, it's going to look absolutely amazing. And again, the detailing is really, really nicely done. Sniper Girl says, thanks, everything is UV'd, so really won't take too long to texture. Unlike me, hey? Are you having a go at me, Sniper Girl? Because it's taking me so long to texture up my Temple of the Winds? Is that a veiled jibe at Pill? But again, yeah, getting back to texturing, it's a lot more difficult than a lot of people think. Even using programs like Substance Painter, which can cut a lot of the time down for you. It's still a lot of work and a lot of talent that goes into texturing something up. So that's just for all those people out there watching in 3D land that maybe don't do 3D and don't appreciate how much work goes into something sometimes. It's a lot. Sniper Girl says, yeah, a damaged version of the barrier with the metal rebar showing in parts. Just need to make a low of the ZBrush file and bait. No, I thought that would be the case. I thought that would be the case because I see how much detail you put into everything else, and it does look very cool. You put a lot of work into it, and it shows because it looks cool. It's going to look awesome. The final scene is going to look awesome. Thank you, Alex Beck, for the host. I do appreciate it. So thank you, Alex, for hosting the channel. I appreciate it when you guys host me. I also appreciate it when you follow me on Twitch. So if you want to follow my channel, I would appreciate that too. Shark says, talking about Painter, they updated our Substance Painter at work to the latest. They have really improved the baking times much faster. Yeah, I actually read that. I updated to the new version of Painter as well about a week ago, I think it was. They've dramatically increased the baking time. I think they're leveraging the GPU now a lot more to do the baking, which is cool. And anytime things speed up is a good thing. So yeah, I haven't actually tried the new baker yet. We'll try it probably soon when I take a couple more assets from the temple into Substance Painter. Alex, thank you for the subscription. That's incredibly cool of you. Thank you very much for subbing to the channel. I do appreciate it, Alex. Thank you. You are awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, I haven't tried the baking in Substance Painter. We probably will soon because I want to take a couple more assets in to do some texture painting on. I have to get that sub-hype thing done, don't I? I want to do a pop-up for sub-hype. I haven't done it yet. I've been very slack. I've had so much to do, guys. Come on. You know, I've got stuff for the studio. I've got stuff. I'm making that game level with the other guys as well, with the other studio. I'm working on my own 3D stuff. I'm busy. I'm a busy boy. But I do appreciate that, Alex. Thank you very much. Sniper Girl says, no, wasn't intended as that. Going to be using a lot of texture atlases to cut down on the overall work. Going to have several different materials for the corrugated metal on the fence to add variations quickly. That sounds like a good plan. Anytime you can use a texture atlas is a good thing to be doing. Cutting down on the amount of textures being loaded into memory at any one time, which will cut down on your draw calls, particularly for putting it in a game engine. Shark says, especially ambient occlusion, it's much faster to bake out. I'll check it out. Well, we'll check it out soon, because we're going to jump into Substance Painter in a minute. Sniper, it's good to see you, Sniper Echo. How are you, buddy? Always good to see you guys. I'm glad you... Nice that you're all in chat so early. I hope you're well there, Sniper. Sniper Girl says, have materials for the gas station wall already made. Several old wood materials for the pallets and the fence. You actually already partly textured up the gas station, or is this a different? No, the diner. I'm thinking of the diner because you textured up the diner. Sniper Girl says 333 kW uptime. Did it give you an uptime? I'm not sure. We've only been up for for 15 minutes though. 333. Sniper Echo says, hey Sniper Girl, really awesome work. Shark says, all these people whose names start with an S. I know, we've got Smurfberry Barbecue, Sniper Echo and Sniper Girl. I always get them all mixed up, they'll tell you. They tell you how terrible I am. I mix them up constantly. I'll blame Sniper Girl for something Smurfberry Barbecue has said, or Sniper Echo has said. It's just terrible. But I'm terrible with usernames anyway. You guys know that. You guys who watch me all the time know how bad I am. I try. I do try. Sniper Girl says, the brick on the gas station is textured already. Do default materials in Maya to make it easier to see things in the screenshot. Okay. Okay, I understand. It's going to look awesome. It's going to look awesome, awesome, awesome. If you guys want to check out exactly what everybody is doing, like I said, jump in the Discord server. The Phil Does 3D Discord server. You can look at everyone's work in the gallery section. If you're an artist and you want to show off your work, pop it in the gallery. If you want to link to your ArtStation or your portfolio, there's a specific section there called Folios and Demo Reels where you can post links to your stuff, your work, your gallery, your portfolio, all that sort of thing. There's also a really cool tutorial and tips section there that the guys and girls that are members of the Discord server post to if they come across anything interesting as far as a tutorial or a tip for 3D or art in general. They post it in the tutorials and tips section, and you guys can do that too. Only the mods can post in that sub forum, but if you post in the general chat something cool and you think should be added, then the mods could, or I can add it to that section for you. Okay, so let's jump into Max real quick. So yep, we're back to working on the Temple of the Winds here. We're going to put a pin in the game, the House on the Hollow, until we finish this project. Maybe. We'll see how we go. This is almost done. I'm just going to finish some texturing stuff, and then we're going to take it into Eon View. We're going to do a beauty render by setting up a full-on 3D environment in Eon View. So initially I was going to render this out inside of Max using V-Ray. But I decided I was going to do that before I updated to Max 2020, because Max 2020 and Eon View have not released the plugin for the new version of Max yet. Now, what can I say? They can be a bit slack sometimes, Eon. They can take forever to do something. I'm sure eventually it will come, but at the moment I can't render view scenes inside of Max because the V-Ray plugin hasn't been updated by Eon View for V-Ray yet. So I'm going to take it into Eon View, the program separate from Max, and we're going to do the beauty renders in that. It's a bit of a pain because I wanted to do particle effects inside of Max using V-Ray. I don't know that we're going to be able to do that. We could composite stuff, we could do it that way, but anyway, we'll tackle that when it comes time to do the beauty renders anyway. Sniper Girl says, can do V-Ray in Unreal. Yes, I know you can do V-Ray in Unreal, but we're not doing... This model is going to be sold on my 3D store, and I always do the beauty renders in Eon View. So I'll be using View for the beauty renders. I'm going to be taking this into the game engine because I want to include it in the game we're making as a separate area somewhere in the forest. I do want to include this Temple of the Winds in the game. So we will be taking it into Unreal when we jump back into doing the game stuff. But for the beauty renders for the store, it's going to be done in View. So that's the plan anyway. I may look at seeing if we can export, like I want the central fountain here to have water coming out of it. That's why I wanted to use V-Ray, Phoenix actually, which is made by Chaos Group, which is a company that make V-Ray, which we still may do. I may just export the particle as a mesh so we can bring it into Eon View to do the renders. It just would have been much easier if I could do it all inside of Max. Like I said though, Eon have not updated the plugin yet for 3D Studio Max, so I've got no choice. They still haven't brought back their 3D store either, Cornucopia 3D. I mean, you guys know I'm a broker there, and I haven't sold models there because their store's been down for 2 years. 2 years. Not a word from Eon to me as a broker that used to sell, you know, my models on their site about anything. Don't know who's running that company, but man, it was bought by Bentley Software a few years ago, and since Bentley bought it, they just don't seem to communicate very well. That's enough of Phil bitching though. Cookie says, home at last. That's right. Sniper Echo says to Cookie, hey. Okay, so yeah, last week, a few weeks ago, before we stopped doing the work on this, we were working on the base here, looking at doing a tile for the base, because I wanted to start introducing a little bit more color into the model. I don't want it to end up looking all grey and brown, because that's pretty boring. Again, the colors you're seeing here will change slightly when I take it into View, because you're looking at a DirectX shader here. And I'm going to be using a PBR shader when we go into Eon View. So it gives us an idea of what the textures are like, but the colors and things will change a little bit once it goes into Eon View. So I just want to mention that again. This gives us just a general idea of how things are looking. And if it looks dark here, it's because of the shadow. The lighting is sort of set up to the middle of the model, and that's why the outer edges here are looking a bit dark. They're not that dark. They're actually quite light. It's just the shadowing. Again, all of that will improve when we bring it into Eon View. But we got to texture it up first, so let's do that. Let's now looking at the tiling here for this terrace base, a couple of things. too much moss, way too much moss. Yeah, it looks like the thing hasn't been stood on for 100 years, and that's not the look I'm going for. I want some moss, but not quite so much. The other thing I'm looking at here and thinking maybe the tiles are a little bit big. Now, if we sort of imagine a person standing up here, and a person's sort of going to stand up about, their head will be probably about here. If we're looking, if they're standing up against the railing, their head will probably be up at about here, which means each of these tiles is probably going to be about close to foot size, which is big, like, you know, the size of someone's foot. Each one of these little squares will be about the size of someone's foot, maybe a little bit smaller, but that's still big. So I think the first thing we'll do is we'll jump into Substance Painter and we'll look at that texture. So let us open up the paint file, which is this one here. And let me catch up on what's going on Discord. We're talking about the project that Sniper Girl's working on. So yeah, do remember too, guys and girls, if you've got any questions or anything you're not sure about, please feel free to pop into chat and ask me. I'm here to talk to you, not just to do my own thing. It's the whole reason I'm on Twitch. And okay, now this version, I have reduced the tile size. So this is not the one that we have currently C in Max. I loaded this up earlier before I started streaming, and I increased the tiling a little bit. Now what that does mean is we are going to start to get this pattern happening, because this pattern is in the middle, which is actually being hidden completely by the steps at the moment. But I decided I didn't really mind seeing half of these circles. It might look cool. It might look awful, but it might look cool. So what I've done is I've reduced the tiling, increased the tiling size, so reduced the size of the square tile. I've also put 2 layers on. So this was the original layer here. And you can see how much moss is growing on that. It's too much. I mean, it looks okay here, but it's really too much. So I duplicated the layer below, and I added a smart mask just to reduce a little bit of the moss. So we've still got moss, just not as much. I do want it to look a little bit old, and because it's going to be in the forest in the game, so I do want it to look a little bit overgrown and abandoned, unused, but I don't want it covered in moss. So yeah, that's what I've done here. I've increased the tiling size. I've reduced the moss a little bit. All right, so let's re-export this now so we can bring the new textures into Max. Now Max is going to bitch because it's using the textures in a DirectX shader, and I'm going to overwrite them in a minute. Let's see how we go. So let's export the textures and export. I also want to make a smart material of my sides, because I want to use the sides here, the texture we created for the sides on other parts of the terrace. So creating a smart material is the easiest way for us to reuse it. I'm just looking at a little warning message. It's telling me about an emissive material, but we're not using emissive material, so that's fine. Okay, let us jump into the correct material, which is not that one, it's this one. We're going to start by creating a folder. I'm going to call it my, because I always put my in front of everything. It makes it easy for me to find it then. My terrace sides. There we go. This is a blank layer, so we can delete that. And we can put all of these into that folder. Did you put them all in the folder for me? No, you didn't. Now I think you did. Yes, you did. And let's create a smart material. There we go, and we're done. That's how easy it is to make a smart material. Okay, I'm just going to do a save of this project and we're going to jump back into Max. Okay, it saved out our new materials, which is good. Max is complaining, as I knew it would. Max may even crash, because this is... I don't think Autodesk have done much with the DirectX shaders in Max for some reason. Max did crash. And yeah, the DirectX shaders seem to be a little bit temperamental in Max. They've sort of moved on from DirectX shaders to physical materials now in Max, and the Autodesk have said that they're thinking about making the physical material the default material in 3D Studio Max going forward, which is a good thing because it means it's a PBR material. It's a PBR material setup and chain, so it's more modern. But even with a physical material in Max, you still can't get an accurate representation yet in the viewport of what it's going to look like, which you can get with the DirectX shader. So that's why I've been using DirectX. So we will just wait for Max, because Max 2020 seems to want to take forever to load up. I don't know why. Who can second guess Autodesk? Cookie says, speaking of Max, you guys heard about the indie license they're offering this year? That's exactly right. I was going to talk about that. Max 3D Studio Max now offer on a trial basis. What that means, I don't know. What they're calling an indie license, whereby if you're an indie developer or artist earning less than $100,000 a year, you can purchase a year's subscription to Max or Maya for $250 US. Now that's a substantial saving, because Max is about $2,000 USD to buy. And even then you got to rent it every year anyway. So $250, you can get an indie license at the moment for a limited time, whatever that means, to 3D Studio Max or Maya, the newest versions, and you can use them commercially. Now remember, I've told you, if you're a student, you can get a free 3-year license for Max or Maya, but you can't make anything commercially with it. But this is an indie license, $250 a year for Max or Maya. Yes, for Maya as well. That's right, Cookie. Galen, it's good to see you, Galen. How are you? Hope you had a good weekend. Again, my apologies for not being here last week, guys. So yeah, that's exactly right. The indie license of Max and Maya, $250 for a year's subscription, which is a substantial saving, and you can use it commercially, but you must earn under $100,000 a year as an artist doing commercial work. Sniper Girl says to Cookie, it's a mixed bag, trial according to them, and you also need to cancel. Yeah, remember to cancel the auto renewal. I forgot to mention that too. Even they mention it. It's going to renew at the normal price, which is a couple of $1,000s. So if you do want to take them up on their offer, make sure immediately after subscribing or buying their indie license, you cancel the subscription. Just so you don't forget in a year's time and get charged $2,000, which is a stupid thing to be doing. They should have systems in place whereby that's not necessary. You shouldn't need to do something like that. That just seems silly to me. Having to cancel manually. Anyway, so make sure you do. Cookie says, I'm hopeful they will keep the option available after this year, for sure, when Blender is kicking. But yeah, well, that's the only reason I think they've done it, because they see how much Blender is actually starting to take off, and they're paranoid, because they don't want Autodesk make a lot of money from studios using their software, and if Blender starts to take away their income from Maya and Max, then even though they have Revit, which is their number one earner, Autodesk's Revit, if it slowly chips away at their profits, then that's going to cause problems for the company. So that's the reason they've done it. It's because Blender is so popular. But it's good software, Max. I love Max. So I'm not going to knock Max. If it's buggy, particularly the new version 2020 does not seem to be behaving as well as the older versions did. But I love the new chamfer tool and stuff in Max 2020. And I'm hopeful too, Cookie, that they will keep the option after a year as well. Because yeah, it is only for a year as of now. They're doing what they're doing. They're doing a trial. I don't know what they mean. Either say this is what we're doing or say this is not what we're doing. This trial business. Autodesk, come on, you're a huge company. If you're some small little software company not sure about whether it would work for you, I can understand that. But come on, it's work for Substance, Algorithmic, or Adobe Substance. They do an indie license. I think they still do. It's worked well for them. So SpeedTree do an indie license. A lot of companies do. It's worked for them. So I can't see why Autodesk wouldn't keep it going anyway. But who knows? It's Autodesk. Who can work them out half the time? Galen says, doing okay, recovering mentally from the events over the weekend here. Oh, you're talking about the shootings, aren't you? Yeah, those two really bad shootings in the US. It's terrible. Really, really terrible. Sniper Girl says, posted a work in progress of the barricade. Oh, cool. Let me have a look. Oh, that's what I'm talking about, Sniper Girl. Good to see. Because I mentioned to Sniper Girl, I thought her barricade looked a bit too clean, and she's posted this image here where she's actually got the rebar showing and the damage happening, and it looks cool. That's what I want to see. That looks great. Love it. Soft edges, cool. All the things I love. Looks really good. Gonna look cool. And as soon as I opened my mouth, Sniper Girl, I knew that you were going to be doing something with it. Cookie says, you know what it tells me? That they threw together that license in a hurry because of Blender. You are exactly right, Cookie. I think that too. Cookie says, so they didn't have time to fix the auto-renew at full price issue. You probably... Still, did they need to do it immediately? Couldn't they... I don't know. I don't know how complicated their back end is to actually work out their auto-renewal thing. I wouldn't have thought it would be that hard. But again, I don't know. I don't know how complicated their back end is. Sounds a bit rude, doesn't it? I mean the back end server, the back end of their server that processes all of their subscription stuff. But I think that's the reason that they're offering it. It's because they're they're worried about Blender. Cookie says they just need to quit being so greedy. Yes, they do. All these companies, Adobe included, need to quit being so greedy. I hate subscription. I hate that the whole model, a subscription model, sucks. And you know that they're trying to make games that way now as well. Everything they're trying to Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, Ubisoft, EA, they're all trying to push a subscription model whereby you pay a monthly fee, you can play whatever games are on their server. For some people that might be cool. I've never liked subscription software. You never own it. As soon as you stop paying that monthly fee, you can't use it. For productivity software like Max or Photoshop or Premiere Pro or anything like that, that's a real problem. Unless you only do a creative job once in a blue moon, you need access all the time to that software. And in the long run, you're paying more for it and you're never owning it. So that's my reasoning for hating the subscription model. But that seems to be the way that they're all going, and there's not much we can do about it. Cookie says, I think they're hurting themselves more than anything. I think they are too. Galen says, but I did venture out Saturday afternoon to donate blood to help where I could. Well, good on you, Galen. I heard that a lot of you guys in the US after the shooting were donating blood, and that's a great thing to hear. Because these people need it. So it's a good thing to be donating blood. And it's a terrible thing that's happened. You guys have got to get your gun control under control in the United States. You have got to. I know some of you like your guns and you want your guns and they're your right. No, I respect that. But do you need a semi-automatic rifle? Do you need guns that you use in warfare for your civil rights? That's what I don't get. Why in the US you guys can buy semi-automatic rifles and things. I mean... I don't know. But it just seems to happen all the time. And I don't deny, this man was mentally ill, or these two men were mentally ill. But that's not an excuse not to do something about how easy it is to get semi-automatic weapons. That's, Sniper Girl says, actually looked up the construction diagrams. Rebar is in the right place on the barricade. Well, that's good. It always helps to look up to have an accurate reference when you're making something into it. I do it too. I find Google images are really good. Like, say you want to make something, you're not sure how it looks or how it's supposed to look. I always jump on Google Images and do an image search of what it is that I'm trying to make, so I can make sure that I have a reference. It's always good to work from reference. Always. Cookie says, with you 100% Phil. Good. Sniper Girl says to Cookie, agree with you. The problem had a ton of people like me say that after their sub is up, that we'll switch to Blender. Well, that's one way to stick it to them. Tell them that, I'll sub for the cheap price for a year or whatever, and then I'm going to switch to Blender. Blender's free, so, if you want to do 3D, you don't need to spend a cent. I don't want people watching to think, I've got to spend money if I wanted to do a 3D thing. If I want to make 3D, you don't. Blender is completely free. You can see how popular it's becoming by these big companies starting to get really worried about it. Epic Games just donated $1.2 million to the Blender Foundation to develop Blender, so, I think that speaks volumes in itself. Galen says, being in El Paso, it had an immediate benefits. Oh, okay. So you actually are in that area, Galen. Okay. Cookie says there's basically a mass shooting every day. It's crazy. I know it is. Sniper Girl says, I agree. The gun craze is too much here. Too many people have died and not enough done. Look, I get it, guys. I get you US people. Like, in Australia, guns are banned. Farmers and people like that can have weapons. The general population cannot. It is against the law. You can get a gun license, but you need a good reason, a very good reason, like a farmer or something. But I get that you guys in the US have had guns since your founding. It's part of your constitution. I get that. All I'm saying is, ban semi-automatic weapons for the general population. They don't need them. You don't need a semi-automatic to protect yourself. You just don't. A regular gun can do that if you must have guns. And it'll stop these mass shootings. They won't be able to kill all these people so quickly if there's no semi-automatic machine guns around for them to buy and use. Pinterest is good for reference as well. Galen says, yes, Pinterest is good, but you must open an account, otherwise you can't look at anything on Pinterest, which pisses me off with Pinterest. I mean, it's no big deal. It's free to open an account, but it just annoys me when companies, Facebook do it too. Like, if you don't log into Facebook, you can't read some Facebook pages. And that's really annoying too. But yes, Pinterest is another good one. Sniper Girl says, they gave me a survey and I was honest with them. With Maya LT not having Python support, that I saw no reason not to switch to Blender. It means it's free with Python support. Oh, I didn't know Maya LT didn't have Python support. Maya LT is the free version of Maya, by the way, for anyone that doesn't know. Yeah, I wasn't aware that it didn't have Python support. That's really... I mean, I understand it's free, so... because Python is used all the time in the CG industry. A lot of the tools and stuff are written in Python that studios will create to improve their pipeline. Because Python is cool. Love Python. Cookie says, I love that. Epic is so awesome. One of the cool kids. They are. Yes, no, Epic are one of the cool kids. Although they're getting a lot of hate with the Epic Game Store. Their game store. Yeah, I'm glad you're okay too, Galen. Galen says, thanks, Sniper Girl. Galen says, we have the right to bear arms. Doesn't say anything about ammo, just outlaw bullets. Well, that's right. You want your guns, have your guns. You just can't fire them. Sniper Girl says, it's not the free version of Maya. Oh, I thought it was. It's the light version of Maya. Still pay a pretty... I thought it was the free version. I thought the LT was the free version. I'm a Max guy, not a Maya guy. But I always assumed that the LT version was the free version. There you go. I've been schooled and put in my place. Yeah, well, that's pretty cheeky. If they're charging you for it, they're not giving you Python, then that's pretty cheeky. Come on, Autodesk. Man. All right, there we go. See, I've noticed with Max, like I said, this new Max 2020, you see my cursor being really sticky? That didn't happen with Max 2017, which I was on before this. No, it was 2018. I think it was 2018. So I don't know what's going on with Autodesk and 3D Studio Max. They're really got to get their shit together. I'm sorry. Sorry for being so blunt, Autodesk, but get your shit together. Because this sticky mouse cursor thing is really annoying. Now, again, I don't know. It's some sort of interaction between Max's viewport, the new version of Windows 1903, and it might even be something to do with NDI, because I use NDI to stream to my second machine. You see, after a while it clears up and it's fine. So I don't know. It seems to be something to do with their new, Max's new Qt interface that they're working on at Autodesk. This doesn't seem to be behaving very nicely under Windows 1903. Okay, so anyway, I'm looking at this tile. I want to look at the tile to see if I like it or not. Let me think here. And it's the circles that I'm sort of umming and ahhing about here at the moment. See, the problem with this is if I want the smaller tile, I have to have the circles. I don't mind the circles. Look, it's a little annoying the circles are not sort of like evenly distributed on the steps, which they would be if I'd put 4 steps on as opposed to 3. But I don't know that that's really going to cause an issue if when we're actually at the terrace here and we're looking around. I don't think it's really going to look too odd. And I like the fact that the tiles are now smaller. I mean, the tiling now would probably be about... come on, Max, jeez. The tiles will probably be about under half a foot size, which is much more natural. And what we can do is we may be able to pick up this pattern on these half circular steps. So we may be able to sort of make it look more interesting that way. Sniper Girl says, Maya LT is $250 a year. Wow. Well, now you can buy the full version of Maya for $250 a year and not have to put up with it, hey, with their indie license. Jeez, I didn't know it was that expensive for the LT version. Jeez. Autodesk, you're so greedy. Sniper Girl says they released it before the indie package. Oh, okay. Well, don't buy it. Buy the indie package now. If you want to spend $250 on Maya, don't buy the LT version. Buy the full-on version, the indie license. Cookie says that's really scummy. Stomps on automation. It does stomp on automation abilities. It's not cool. It is not cool. You must give people access to Python because, like I said, Python in every studio I've ever worked at, from games to film to ArchViz, Python is used to integrate things in the pipeline because it integrates really well with with just about every piece of 3D artwork software that the studio uses, whether it be Max, whether it be Revit, whether it be Vue, whether it be anything. You know, they all use Python. So that's the number one scripting language that is used for integrating things in the pipeline, custom integration. So the fact that they lock you out of that stinks. Sniper Girl says, I'm going to go AFK. We'll be back in about 30 minutes. No problem, Sniper Girl. We'll be here. Cookie says, or building any kind of custom tool. It saddens me that they would do such a thing. Gosh, I'm glad that Blender is a thing. Yes, it can only be a good thing for us 3D artists that Blender is a thing and is becoming so popular. Shark says, I've never been a fan of subscription-based licenses. Neither have I, Shark. I think they suck. Let's not mince words here. They suck. It's a way for companies to get more money out of you. and you can never own this. It's a way for them to lock you in to always pay them. Microsoft's Office 365, that's become incredibly popular. And I get it. I get why people sometimes like subscribing. If they don't want it, they stop subscribing, they're not paying. Of course, then they can't use their software. I personally have Office, the full version of Office Professional. I don't get the subscription Office 365 because I want to own my software. But some, like now, a lot of it you can't. Like Adobe and their software, you must rent it. Autodesk, you must rent it. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with Substance Painter, whether you can buy that outright anymore or whether that's just rental now. It stinks. It just stinks. So I agree with you, Shark. Smurfberry says Python is the intermediary language. It is. And it's a good language. It's been around for donkey's years, Python, and they keep improving it all the time. And it's a great scripting language. Python and PHP, I love them both. PHP is more web stuff, but Python certainly a great scripting language. Cookie says, have you noticed the rotation in the viewport is really bad in 2020? If you rotate the view too fast, tell me about it. Did you see what was going on here? That is not Twitch lagging. Look, I'm holding down now and trying to rotate. That is max lagging. I mean, it looks okay at the moment, but sometimes it'll just stick. So I don't know what is going on. See there, it's sticking. I don't know what's going on with the new version of Max. It should not be doing this. They're updating the viewports. Now, with this new version of Max that I'm using here, Update 1, 2020 Update 1, you can actually tear off the viewports now. So I don't know if it's something to do with this. So you can float your viewports, basically, like every other piece of software now. It took Max this long to get floating viewports. It's a great thing because it means if you've got multiple monitors, like I do, you can tear the viewport off, you can put a lot of stuff on the second monitor. You can keep the main display just for what you're working on, like maybe for your perspective view. I don't do it here because you won't see it, because OBS can only stream one screen at a time. But yeah, when I'm working in 3D and I'm not streaming, tearing off the viewports and having them on a second monitor is a godsend. So I don't know if it's something to do with all the changes they're making to their QT viewport thing. They call it QT. I don't know. I don't even know what it stands for, QT, but anyway. But it's really annoying. And Autodesk, get your shit together and fix it. So I have noticed that, Cookie. Shark says for full-time 3D artists, it's just become so expensive over the year. It does. Look, when you take in the cost of a subscription for Photoshop, because, you know, a lot of people that do 3D use Photoshop as well. A subscription for Substance Painter, a subscription for SpeedTree, a subscription for whatever 3D software you're using, whether it be Max or Maya or Cinema 4D or whatever. It gets incredibly expensive. Eon View, subscribing to that software, it adds up. And if you like doing 3D as a hobby, like you're not doing it because you want to make money on it, I don't understand how people... It can get really hard for people to do it. Thank God there's Blender, which is free and open source. Thank God there's open source software that's competitive to Photoshop. But there are some things that there aren't, like Substance Painter. I don't know of any open source project free software that's like Painter, or Substance Designer, or anything like that. So there are some things you've got no choice but to spend money on if you want to do your 3D stuff. And it does get incredibly expensive. I mean, it's cheaper initially it's cheaper to subscribe. You're not spending $2,000 to buy Max outright. You know, you can spend a couple of $100 a month and rent it. So initially it's cheaper, but in the long run, it's going to cost you a lot more and you never own it. That's what I don't like about it. So if you only do stuff occasionally, maybe it'll be cool for you. But if you do it all the time, then it's not good. Cookie says, I like the rent-to-own model I've seen for some tools. It's a subscription model, and after a certain point, you basically own a perpetual license, so you stop paying. You would still have a copy of the latest version. Now, that's fine. I think that's a great idea, Cookie. You rent to buy. And the last version, like you said, when you stop your subscription, is the version you're stuck with. That's fine. You can still use it. But that's not the way that these sub-services that Adobe and Autodesk operate on. If you stop paying, it stops working. That's what sucks. That's what I don't like. Cookie says, then you just pay for the version updates annually if you want to. Yep. Which is why Autodesk and Adobe don't do it, because they want to lock you into every month having to pay. They don't want to give you, they don't want you to be able to take 12 months off and then pay to get the latest version by subscribing. Look, I know that they're businesses and they're in business to make money, but you can't tell me that Autodesk and Adobe didn't make fistfuls of dollars prior to the subscription thing. Of course they did. So, it's just a way for them to get regular money from everyone. Smokery says, yeah, to be honest, this new Autodesk indie thing of Max and Maya is probably going to have a tepid reception because it's continuing subscription. Yep. Yeah, as soon as I saw for 1 year, a 1 year license, I mean, it's still cheap, don't get me wrong. $250 to use Max or Maya for a year as opposed to $2,000 is a good deal. I'm not going to lie, it is a good deal. If you want that commercial ability to use the software. But again, I want to make sure that you guys know that if you're a student or if you have a student email address, you can get a free 3-year license of Max or Maya. You don't pay a cent. Now again, the restriction is you can't use it for commercial work. But if you're just making stuff because you want to play in 3D, then that's fine. And if you do want to do commercial work, then I guess the $250 indie license is a good thing to look at. Assuming Autodesk keep it going, who knows? But yeah, you're never going to own it. And the other comment has been, are they going to keep doing it? They're not saying. Like, are you going to spend $250, get your copy of Maya or Max, learn it, for Autodesk to then say, well, no, sorry, we're not going to continue that. You're going to spend $2,000 or you're going to spend $200 every month if you want to keep using it. That's the other criticism, that people just are suspicious that they'll stop it after the year and lock you into their software because you've spent so much time using it and learning it, you've got no choice. So just keep that in mind too. I don't know what their plans are. Who knows? Andrew Lust says, Andrew Lust, it's good to see you, buddy. How are you? Again, sorry for last week, guys and girls. I couldn't be helped. They had to send me to Sydney. But it was Photogrammetry, so that's all good. I enjoyed it. And it wasn't in the middle of nowhere at 50 degree temperatures, so that was good too. Smoker says, even if it's cheaper than the Pro Studio level license. Shark says, I remember when Unreal was subscription. Yeah, it was. Unreal was subscription as well. But it's not anymore. It's completely free. You can download and use Unreal for nothing. But even then, the subscription, I think, was only like $20 a month. So, and the SpeedTree subscription, see how, come on, Autodesk, this viewport is really terrible. Oh, man. Man, that's actually because I've not got something for Max to lock on to. That's why it's zooming around everywhere. But it's sticky. The viewport is really sticky. Sometimes it's fine and then it gets sticky. And what I've noticed, because when I bring up my task manager, because I was looking at this morning, thinking, why is this going on? It seems to be that Max is hitting the GPU really hard, just all of a sudden for no reason. It'll push the GPU usage to like 95%. That's the reason it's getting stuck. Or it's so sticky. Why it's doing that though, I don't know. It should not be doing that, because most of the time the GPU usage, like at the moment here, would be probably about 20%. But sometimes it jumps up to like 95% for no reason that I can see anyway. So yeah, there's something going on with the Max viewport and the new version of Windows 1903. I don't remember it happening with the previous version of Windows. It didn't happen with Max 2018. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. Something to do with DirectX 11 and Max's viewport here. You see my cursor, again, getting really stuck. It's getting sticky. That is not Twitch lag. That is the viewport sticking. Yeah, it's sticking. Now it's fine. And then all of a sudden it'll stick. And that's when the GPU is being pushed to like 95% for some reason. If Autodesk can't fix it with an update, I may revert back if I can to Max 2018, because I did not have a problem with that. Shark says Autodesk putting the subscription income to good use. Android Lust says that would drive it is driving me nuts. Android Lust, it is driving me nuts. It is. It makes working really difficult and really annoying. Not to mention the fact that it makes streaming anything horrible. And I don't know why it's doing it. Sometimes it's fine. Like now it's fine. Now it's stuck. And it's because it's pushing the GPU all of a sudden. It's spiking the GPU. Max keeps spiking the GPU for some reason. And it is starting to get very, very annoying. I mentioned to you guys, though, I'm just not sure because the studio are the ones that pay for my license. I'm not sure if I can have 2018 running. I think with Autodesk subscription model, you must be using the latest version if that's what you're paying for. I think. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into it. Cookie says I'm not getting the GPU spike. Well, I am. Like I said, I pull up the task manager and check it because that's what I've noticed with the task manager. GPU keeps spiking up with Max. Not always, but it does. That's what I found this morning when I was looking at it thinking, why are you doing this? Now again, I don't know if it's NDI doing it. I don't know why it would be. It hasn't before. So I'm going to lay the blame on Autodesk's Max 2020 viewport changes causing the spikes in the GPU. Sometimes it's fine. If it could just stay like this all the time, it'd be fine, like it used to. But yeah, and the mouse cursor particularly, you can see sticks occasionally as well. Anyway, we will persevere. So, let us. I'm going to keep the textured terrace here at the moment the way it is, with the half circle showing like that. We're going to move on to texturing up. Let's do the inside fountain part here where the water's going to go. We'll send that over to Substance Painter and we'll texture that up. You see how it's sticking again? Really annoying. Let's make sure we've named it correctly. Inner pond circle, that sounds good. I'm going to open up the Substance plugin that you can download for free. It's going to complain the first time I send it over because it always does. It's just a permissions problem. This plugin hasn't been updated for quite a while, so with the new changes to Windows 10, it's the permissions issue. So you just go OK and cancel and then you can do it normally. It just saves, this plugin saves me time having to export as an FBX model, import it into Substance, all that sort of business. I can just send it with the plugin. And you can download the plugin from Substance's forum. Under 3D Studio Max, you'll find it under the Max forum on Substance's community website. It should all be good. Let's send that over. It's just telling me I've updated the Substance version and I'm using an older template to send it over with. That's what that's complaining about. Again, this inner pond has no to save on polygons. It's only got normal spacing in, not out. That's the reason the outside here is see-through, because we're only concerned with the interior, not the outside. All the outside's hidden. Okay, let's find a texture we can lay down here. And I want tiles inside of the pond here. Cookie says, I feel like I need to do a suggestion on Autodesk's forum to add Eve to 3D Studio Max. Or Eevee. Well, it can't hurt. I think Autodesk need all the help they can get. All the suggestions from all the people, that's what they need. All the time. Okay, let me see if I can find a tile that I like. There gotta be one. It's wonderful. I should check it out. I haven't actually looked at it either, so I should check it out. Okay, I'm just going to make my materials here larger so we can all see them a little bit better. Instead of trying to squint at this tiny little sphere. I don't mind that, but we'll see what else we've got. Actually, don't mind that either. We use that one on the columns, so we don't want to reuse it again. Cookie says it's comparable to Marmoset Toolbag. Okay, well I'm familiar with Marmoset. I'll check it out. Although I tend to do my model shots in V-Ray inside of Max. But it's a lot more setup work than using something like Marmoset. I wasn't really going to use that. I was just curious as to what that was. It looked quite interesting. Because there are substances here I've never used. I added a few more the other day. Because you can never have too many substances. Well, you can. You can have too many. You can start to bog the system down a bit. So you want to be careful not to have too many. There is a setting inside of Substance you can change if you're starting to find that it's taking a while for it to populate up all your different substances. You can increase the setting inside of the preferences to give you more room for more stuff. Because what it basically does is it caches all of these substances on the disk, like the images of them on the disk, so they load up quickly. You can increase the size of that cache. Come on, what am I looking for? The reason I have 3 versions of the same one, they're all slightly different. That was the base, actually that's still one of mine. I took a base shader into Alchemist, Substance Alchemist, which you can use to mix a lot of different shaders together to get a unique shader. And that's what I did for the terrace tiles by layering different effects on top of different shaders to get a unique looking substance. And that's the reason there are 3 of them, because they're all slightly different. It's a gravel. I don't want gravel. Actually, this tile is interesting too. This is probably more for a bathroom. It's a bit yellowy as well. I want to try and bring a bit more colour in. Less of the grey, less of the browny yellow. So maybe if we go back up to 2. Let's see what this one looks like. Let's just wait for that shader to compile. Let's increase the tiling. Try and work out how small I want these tiles to be. Let's go to an even 15 on the tiling. What parameters can we change? I don't think there are many. No, just a random seed, really. There's this blue as well, which could be interesting. Let's throw the blue on. I just want to get a comparison between a few of the different ones to see which one might be better. No, no. I really don't think I like this one. No, I don't like this at all. Okay. Again, this would be okay, but it's just too light. I want a bit more color. I like the green, actually. Let's see what the green looks like. Again, let's change it to 15 on the tiling. It doesn't seem to want to tile as nicely. Why is that? Let me turn the underlying layer off. That might help. There we go. I don't mind the green. I think the green is interesting. We do have a few more options with this texture. We've got a dirtiness value, which is cool. I like to pull that up a bit. I'm just going to do a save here as well, just to make sure that, just in case anything crashes, because you never know. What are the numbers here? What's that going to give us? Okay, that just makes the tile smaller. Same thing as what we're doing up here with the scale. Let's pull that back a little bit. Tile variance. Okay, that's just changing the color of the tiles from a lighter green to a darker green. The other thing I don't quite like here is the height. I think it's a little bit too high, so...
What you're going to hear about today is nothing short of a miracle.
Let's just pull back a bit on the height range.
Sound waves reaching the microphone are changed into impulses of electric current. It's the most tremendous new musical experience you can have.
Try pulling back a little bit more. Because they were looking a little bit like Lego blocks, so the height information was way too much. It's a bit better. Okay, what else do we have? I might just pull back a little on the normal intensity. Do a quick save. We're at 15. I'm going to turn off the height and the rough and the normal. Actually, I'll keep the rough on, I'll just turn off the normal. This is the underlying texture, not the one there that we're looking at. I'm just trying to think if I want to try and blend these two together or not. but to blend them, we're going to have to get them to line up. And that could prove difficult. Okay, it looks like the underlying one is too large, so we need to scale it up a bit more.
Invention and innovation.
Still a bit too large.
It's available for everyone.
Still a bit too large.
Everybody from the front to the back now. Bring it back to the
Better. We need to offset it so that they line up a little bit. These sliders are so finicky as well.
yeah. Make the building collapse, drop the bomb. Bring it like that. Bring it like that.
I think the underlying tile still might be a little bit big, maybe. Let's try 20.
Just listen. That's the way computers talk to each other.
I haven't decided whether I'm actually going to use the underlying one yet, so all this could be for naught. We'll see how we go. I think it's still a bit big.
Not knowing where I've been, traveling through light and sound. I wanna know the
Let's try 22.
to verify reality. I just wanna be found. I just wanna be found.
Move the offset a little bit. Let's see if we can use a smart mask. See what that gives us. Actually, the new version of Painter as well, they added, I think, 20 new smart masks as well. So more things to play with. Okay, what would be a good smart mask? Let's see, what are the new ones that they've added? I actually haven't had a look yet. I think they added a few more dirt ones. Let's look at the surface worn one. Yeah, let's look at the surface worn one. With the mask. Play with the balance a little bit.
On the outside looking in, not knowing where I've been, traveling through
I
light.
don't think this mask is actually the one that I want.
I wanna know the real world to verify reality.
Let's try a different mask.
I just wanna be found.
Sand one might be new as well. I don't recall that from last time. Let's see what it is.
Switch it.
Oh, I know. Silly me, forgot to do the bake, didn't I? No, I'm thinking, why are you not behaving properly? And it's because we didn't do a bake. So let's do that. I'm just going to remove the mask. And let's bake out our mesh. It'll give us a chance to use the new baker anyway. I must remember to rename that texture too. It is very quick. Very quick. I'm impressed. It bakes out incredibly quickly. Alright, now that we've got the mesh baked out, let's try this again. Let's use a smart mask. Let's try the sharp dirt. I really don't like the height information it's putting here, but let's see what we've got to play with. Let's turn triplanar on. I really don't think this mask is giving me what I want. So let's remove that. And find something else. I'll know it when I see it.
We aren't just anyone, we've only just begun.
Let's try the rust ground again now that we've actually baked the material out. It's actually the grunge map I don't like the look of, I think. Sniper Girl says back, had to go to the store for cashback. Going to be taking a bus up to Chicago tomorrow. Have an interview for a technician position. Okay, figured that it's a plan B if I don't get the art position at one bike place. Actually, I remember I read on the Discord you said you've got an interview with the one bike place. So that's very cool. We'll keep our fingers crossed for you. I hope it all goes well. I'm sure it will. But it's always good to keep your options open, that's for sure. You never want to put all your eggs in one basket. Andrew Lust says, hey Sniper Girl, nothing wrong with a plan B, no. Sniper Girl says, that interview was on Wednesday. It's a junior 3D art position. Cool. That would be so cool. Where's the studio, Sniper Girl? Whereabouts are they located? The junior art position one. Is that the California one or is that a different one again? Different one. The one in is that one is in Chicago, just off North Morgan Street. Okay, cool. Chicago. Sniper Girl says one is in one in California is a different position. Okay. I'm sure it'll go well. But it's always good to keep your options open. You never want to rely just on one studio, one job, interview, anything like that. Sniper Girl says the one in Chicago will be modelling their bicycles, guessing for advertisements. Okay. Well, that'd be cool, modelling bikes. just want to bring in a little bit of this, call it like damage, I guess, to the tile and the base. It's just the sides here I'm not completely sold on. I ended up watching Alita and the Avengers Endgame as well. I did catch up on those two movies. I enjoyed them both. Alita, I didn't like the ending, but I guess that's just to be expected because they're going to make a part 2 probably. Avengers Endgame I really liked. I thought that was really cool. Well, I liked its visual effects were beautifully done. It was interesting from start to finish. The whole thing. Enjoyed it. Sniper Kill says, yeah, I agree. Could be fun. Would definitely be an expert at hard surface if I get the position. Nothing wrong with being an expert in hard surface. Yeah, characters are important, but the environment's just as important. I'm just seeing if there's any other parameters here I can play with.
I find it hard to keep to my own pace when the road ahead begins to fade. We try to keep our heads above the waves. You make it feel so safe.
Sniper Girl says, I agree with you on Alita. Was like, oh my god, yes, she's finally going to kick the one guy's and then the movie ends. I know, it really annoyed me. I wanted to see her kick his ass as well, but like I said, it's probably because they're going to make number 2, part 2. But Avengers, look, Alita was beautifully done as well. Story really interesting, obviously based on a manga cartoon or anime, Japanese anime, but nicely put together. The effects look good. The character herself, she was done really nicely. So, yep, I couldn't fault Alita for the visuals. It looked good. It's just the story, the ending I didn't like. But Avengers Endgame looked great. Hooked me from beginning to end. It was really, really, really well. It was an entertaining, enjoyable movie, Avengers Endgame. I liked it. Sniper Girl says the technician interview might not go well. We'll be honest with them and tell them up front about the potential modelling position. That's up to you. Why would you want to tell them about the other position, though? Unless you want them to think that you're... Look, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do. I don't generally mention other jobs that I'm applying for when I go for an interview, though. Personally. You don't want them to think that you don't really want their job because you really want this other job, you know what I mean? You want each company to think, oh, you really just want to work for them. Sniper Girl says, I'm good at lying but prefer not to if I don't have to. Yeah, I'm not suggesting you lie. But all these companies want to think that, you know, that you want to work for them and no one else. And they know it's crap, and you know it's crap, but they still expect you to behave that way anyway. I don't get it either. That just seems to be the way that the business world works. Even if you know what the other person is saying is crap, and even if you know what you're saying is crap, they still want you to say it. They still want to hear it. It's weird. Sniper Girl says, yeah, but if I get offered the 3D position, I'd quit the tech job in a second. Yeah, just don't tell them that though, Sniper Girl. Don't. I'm not suggesting you lie, but just don't mention don't say that to them. You want them to think that the tech job is everything you've ever wanted to do, and only the tech job is everything you've ever wanted to do. I know it's crap, you know it's crap, they know it's crap, but that's just what they want to hear. I'm afraid. I don't know why, it's just the way the world works. It's annoying, because, why can't you just be completely honest with people? No, people just don't like that. They want to think that the job that you're applying for is, has been your dream job since you were a child. Even if it's, doing something that's absolutely awful. Cookie says, where do you see yourself in 5... Oh, God. Don't you hate that question? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Probably at some other company that I used this job to gain experience for. Oh, that's so true, Cookie. We all know it. And that's a stupid question. I mean... And yeah, look, I'm sorry, but I think it's a stupid question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I mean, come on. But they all ask it. They all want to hear the answer. But you're exactly right there, Cookie. Having said that, I mean, I've been with the studio I'm with now for about 7 years, so I've stuck with them for a while. Sniper Girl says, I'd rather model the stuff I'd work on if I got the job there instead of working on it. The only reason they're potentially interested in me getting the job is because I did 5 years maintenance in the Navy. Okay. Sniper Girl says to Cookie, better answer would be, I expect to have your job in 5 years. They don't want to hear that though. They don't want you to be too cocky. Smurfrey says, in your desk. Nothing wrong with being motivated to do better, but you want to probably try and avoid saying I'm going to take your job. Reminds me of that episode of Family Guy where Peter goes for an interview and the guy asks him, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And Peter Griffin goes, doing your wife, because he's got a picture of his wife on his desk. You don't want to say things like that. Cookie says, you kidding? I'm going to own this place. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with being confident within reason. Okay, I'm going to actually look for another material to put on top of this. And I like to add a dirt layer. So even though it's going to be in water, that doesn't mean there's not going to be dirt that's accumulated on the bottom of this pond. So we're going to put a dirt layer down. Sniper Girl says, you mean me saying having lesbian sex with your wife was a bad answer to that question? Yes, it was a very bad answer. You don't want to say things like that. Now, what will I use for a dirt layer? I've used these forest covers before. Even though it's a forest cover, there's nothing to say you can't use it as a dirt layer, as long as you turn off certain bits and pieces. Let's see if we can use this one as a dirt layer. Just wait for the shader to compile. I'm just going to do a quick save here because just in case, you never know. What is that? Is that a pencil? What is that? I think it's supposed to be a bit of grass or something. Yeah. Just look like a green pencil. So let's see what options we have for this forest ground layer. Green bean, and it does. It looks like I thought it was a green pencil, like, you know, but it's actually, I don't know. I think it's supposed to be bits of, I don't know, just bits of greenery laying on a forest floor. I'm not even sure what sort. Maybe a leaf of some sort. I don't know. Let's see what options it gives us here. If we can make any changes to the to what's being shown. Some of them give us more options than others. Doesn't look like this one's really going to give us a lot of options. We don't really want the water level because it's going to be all covered in water. Again, it's got to wait for the shader to compile. Snappy Girl says, I also thought it was a coloured pencil as well. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like a coloured pencil. I don't actually think we can use this because there doesn't seem to be any options for me to remove certain things. Some of the ground covers give you options to actually remove like the rocks or the sticks and that sort of thing. This one doesn't, so this one's not going to be good for what we want. Let's see what else we've got. Let's have a look at this one. Come on, you can do it. You haven't crashed, have you? Ooh, I will be so annoyed if you crash. I did increase the TDR value. Wow. I don't. You guys can still see me, hopefully, but my main computer completely crashed. That is bizarre. Just give me a sec to restart my machine. Sorry about that, guys. Not only did Substance pay to crash, it crashed my entire machine. My work machine, not the streaming machine, thank God. See, this is the benefit of having a second machine for streaming. If my computer crashes out, I can still keep streaming. But I can't see the chat at the moment though, guys, so I can't respond to you because until I open up my chat again, which I will do right now. Chatbot. And let me open up NDI again so you're getting a live version of my computer. There we go. I'm still waiting for the chat client to open up. Let me just grab my mobile phone. Hang on, it won't be a sec. Wow. Okay, my chat client's back up, so if you talk now, I should be able to see what you're typing. Just let me get everything else organized again. Yeah, so I don't know what caused that, but man, I've never had my machine completely crash out like that. Yeah, like I said, thankfully because I use a second machine to stream, it doesn't affect my stream. I can still talk to you guys. But my main machine completely went down. And that has never happened. So I don't know what Substance did, but man. Before we reopen Max, let's go with Substance on its own. Let's see how we go. Was I saying to you guys, I changed the TDL or TRD or whatever. You know how Substance always complains if you've got to make a change to the registry so that the graphics card doesn't crap out when Substance is trying to compile a shader. So you change it from the default of 2 seconds to like 60 seconds. I did that the other day when I updated Substance Painter. Let's reopen that project again that we were just working on. What was it called? Inner Pond Circle? Was that the one? Inner Pond Circle? Was that the one? It's one of these two. Yeah, well, I don't know. You guys probably didn't see I got the Windows blue screen message, blue screen of death, saying your PC needs to, your PC has crashed. Let's get rid of this layer here. Now the joys of computing. I won't throw that other forest layer back down again because I don't trust it. Just as well we saved. Snappy Girl says, guess we're doing Bill Does Chat now. Snappy Wrecker says, you got to shoot off a bit early. Big day tomorrow. See you next stream. See you too. Good luck tomorrow, Sniper Echo. Hope it all goes well. I'll be back tomorrow if I see you then. Later, Tater. Okay, let's find another dirt layer I can throw down here. Let's try this one. Okay. Let's just increase the scaling a little bit. We're going to turn off on the dirt layers. I always turn off the height and the normal. So I'm not really interested in the height information. It's just dirt. So let us throw down a smart mask. Let's try the dirt spots one. I think this might be new as well. I don't recall seeing this one before. It's baked out, so it's good. Oh no, I don't like that. I can see what it's doing, but it's not what I want. It's a no to you and a no to you. Let's try something else. Let's try the dirt splashes one. Let's see what that gives us. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to darken up the dirt color. We want it to be quite dark. And this is just because the pond is going to be completely submerged in water. There'll be water in there. I just want it to look like some dirt is sort of settled to the base of the pond on some of the tiles. And I don't mind some dirt actually having been stuck to the edges either. Let's play with the mask a little bit. This is the grunge map. Hang on, what's this? Sniper Girl says, sucks that you're leaving me here with this crazy fella. I'm not crazy, you're crazy. You're also mean to me. She's so mean to me all the time. This is a new one too, this mask that I'm using. I haven't used this one before. And yet you modded me. Yes, I know. Cookie says, good job, Snappy Echo. Snappy Girl. Wrong sniper. You see, it's not just me that gets confused between these snipers and S's and Smurfberries all the time. You can leave Sniper Echo. Let's do a quick save because, you know, you saw what happened before. Should actually probably check my log. Actually, let me just do that really quickly. I'm just going to see what it logged here as to that crash. It would have been here. Event log. Previous system shutdown was unexpected. Doesn't really tell me what. System is rebooted without cleaning, shutting down. I'll have to go through my logs to try and work out. It's probably not going to tell me though. It was. I'm sorry, but it was Substance Paint that caused it. It caused a major crash. You just crashed Max too, Cookie says. Your Max has crashed, so I have to reopen Max. So I'm glad I'm not alone. Sniper Echo says, I forgot to tell you guys earlier, I accidentally talked myself into being offered a position as a technical set designer and technical production manager of a theatre production in Germany. That's what the big day is all about tomorrow. That's amazing news. How could you forget to tell us that, Sniper Echo? I mean, come on. So a technical set designer and technical production manager of a theatre production in Germany is amazing. That is amazing news. Oh, wow. That's so cool, Sniper Echo. Really cool. Sniper Girl says, to even confuse you even more, both snipers are mods. That's right, Cookie says you're not alone, Phil. V-Ray didn't like my render to texture settings. Sniper Girl says to Sniper Echo, it is, it's great news. Sniper Echo says, is it though? Of course it is. Yeah, so congratulations. That's amazing news, Sniper Echo. Really, really amazing. Working on a theatre production would be really interesting too. It'd be like interesting work. Sniper says it sounds fancier than it is. It means a lot of code and Blender work. Well, that's cool. You love code and Blender, don't you? That's amazing news, Sniper Echo. That is really, really, really amazing. And congratulations. I think that it sounds like it's going to be a great thing to do. It sounds really interesting. Like, as far as a job goes, it'll be a really interesting job. Yes, do let us know how it goes, as Sniper Girl says, Sniper Echo, tomorrow. You get some sleep then for tomorrow, Sniper Echo. Off to bed now. I know it's very early in the morning for you. Go on, off to bed. Tomorrow's an important day. And if you are around later on, I'll be streaming tomorrow. Let us know how you went. What's this word sleep mean, Sniper Girl says? I told you guys, if you don't sleep, you're going to get sick. It happened to me. And if it happens to me, it will happen to you. Okay. I don't know that there's really much else I need to play with here. Just wish I could do something with... That's a bit better. I just wanted to knock out a little bit of the height information. Like if I pull it back, I didn't like that bumpy look. So I wanted to reduce that in the height position. If we pull up on the height position, I can get rid of a lot of... I still want a little bit, but not so in your face as it was before. Let's do a quick save here. Sniper Echo says, no sleep for me. It's a 24-hour dev day today. I got no choice. Oh no. You're going to make yourself sick doing a 24-hour day. Cookie says, means stay up all night doing 3D programming and play video games, I think. Nothing wrong with that, playing video games. Sniper Girl says, be glad, restrain myself from a joke. Okay, do I want to know? No, I don't. Sniper Echo says to Cookie, I like it. I like the way you roll. Sniper Girl says, was super close to saying something. Sniper Echo says, the main show element that has taken 3 months to set up by a crew of 6 is apparently being scrapped. If I can deliver what I'm working on now, I should have never touched Blender. So the main show element that's taken 3 months for them to set up with a crew of 6 is being scrapped. Wow. All that time, energy and effort and money for nothing. For naught. It happens though. I can say that so glibly because, you know, I'm not the one paying the bills, whoever the company is. Sniper Echo says it's okay. I've been doing 19-hour days for a week now, so what's a few more? Wow. Look, yeah, I get it. There are times when I don't get a lot of sleep either. But it's not good for you though. It's really not. Try not to do it for too long, too often. Cookie says you're insane. Demon of God. So this program make vehicle. You can if you want. This is Substance Painter Demon of God that I'm using here. I'm doing a pond at the moment for my terrace. So this is not to make 3D models that you see here on my screen. This is just to texture them up. Demon of God, but good to see you, Demon of God. Sniper Echo says, stay away from Blender, guys. No good will come from it. I know you guys love them. Okay, let's open Max back up so we can bring this pond in, shall we? After my machine crashing, I'm going to have to reopen Max again. What's going on here? Just let me reopen my mobile chat client. I should always have my mobile phone here in case my computer does crash out like that, because when the computer crashes, I lose my chat. What's going on there? There we go. That is weird. Sorry, I'm playing with my phone here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just waiting for Max to open anyway. There we go. What was weird was when the computer crashed out, my mobile phone lost its wireless. I don't know what's going on. Let me reopen the Max file. Cookie says, Blender is all goodness, no badness. It's all good. And my Discord, I forgot to reopen my Discord, so my apologies if you posted anything in Discord. It's not open at the moment. I forgot to reopen it after the crash. Now we're just waiting for Max. But again, good luck tomorrow, Sniper Echo. Hope it all goes well. That is amazing news. And we're all going to wish Sniper Girl good luck with her interviews as well. Yeah, like I was saying, I've been with the studio now for about 7 years actually. It's just quite a while. A lot of people I know are pretty transient in the design industry. They like to swap out. They like to go to new studios every few years, which is not a bad thing. It's always good to be exposed to a different studio, a different group of people. Nothing wrong with that. Android Lust says tomorrow is a big day for the snipers. It is, yes, a big day for both of them. Come on, Max, you can do it. Let's wait for it to load up the DirectX shaders. Come on, Max, you can do it. I wanted to mention too, actually, I forgot. If you're an NVIDIA user, like you have an NVIDIA graphics card, and if you've got a 10-bit display, so a high color monitor that you do your work on, make sure you update to the creators drivers that NVIDIA released about 3 or 4 days ago, because they enable 30-bit color in Adobe Photoshop and in Adobe Premiere or After Effects. So if you work with, if you need professional color grade and you have a 10-bit monitor, now with any GeForce graphics card, Series 10 or 20, that you've got to have a Pascal or the new video card. It won't work on anything lower. But they've enabled 30-bit color. Now that used to be exclusive for Quadro cards, which you'd have to spend thousands of dollars to buy to get 30-bit color. But with the latest creator-ready drivers from NVIDIA, they've enabled that on the 10 series and 20 series NVIDIA graphics cards. So I just wanted to mention it. If you are an NVIDIA user, you do have a 10 or a 20 series graphics card, and you do work with a 10-bit or higher monitor, make sure you install the creators drivers. They're 431.70, I think is the version number, because you don't have to spend thousands on a Quadro card to get 30-bit color for your workflow now, which is awesome of NVIDIA. I wish they'd done it sooner. Sniper Echo said to Sniper Girl, good luck with that interview. It sounds really cool. Sniper Girl says to Sniper Echo, thank you so much. We'll post in Discord on both of them. Yeah, do post on Discord and let us know how you go, Sniper Girl. That is cool. Smurpery says, my monitors are both old butts though. Yeah, it's probably not going to make a difference unless you need to have a 10-bit monitor. And you can find out if you're not sure just by going into your NVIDIA control panel, as I will show you now. Select your monitor and here it'll tell you the output color depth. As long as you can choose at least 10-bit here, you can take advantage of the new driver. Got a split, Smurfberry? No problem. Thanks for being here. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, it is awesome. It's good that you can actually do a 30-bit color now. Let's just rename this texture. We're going to call this one Inner pond tiles. Again, we're just going to save it, and I'm going to export it. I wonder if changing that value, you know how I said I changed the TDL or whatever it is, that as they suggested for Substance Painter. I wonder if changing that actually, change this to 2K, actually caused my computer to crash, because it's never crashed like that before. And it seems so coincidental. The day, after I make that change for Substance Painter here, so it doesn't complain, I end up getting a crash. And what's that all about? If I was paranoid, I am paranoid. Sniper Girl says, have an Ultra HD TV for a monitor with HDR color range. Definitely not using it to the full potential. Yeah, well, again, if you have a HDR TV, then that can take advantage of it as well, of the 30-bit color. So I know a lot of people use their TVs as monitors nowadays. So you will be able to take advantage of the new driver if you do have a HDR TV, because they use 10-bit color. Come on, I want to select what's in here. Let me select what's in here. There we go. I'm just going to isolate this so we can apply our texture. Come on. Let's start by throwing down our DirectX shader. And again, we're going to make it an interactive. I'm going to load up the normal map. After I find... I'll just browse by hand. I'll do it by hand. It'll be quicker. But thanks for being here, Smokeberry. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. And we're calling it In Upon Circle. This one I think it is. We want the normal map. And we want the color map. And the metallic map. And the roughness map. Let's just bring in the bitmap so I know what I'm looking at. I'm going to make this unique and open the shader. And we're going to change it to 3 lights, not 13, 3. There we go. Let's export the shader. Just going to call it Inner Pond. I can't spell. Inner Pond Tiles. And we're going to assign it to our... I must make sure I turn them on. So we want to use the normal map, the color map, the metallic map, and the roughness map. And that looks good. Let's unhide everything. And that should be good. If I can, there we go. Again, I wanted to use the green to try and pick up on the green of the tile here, but we want to try and keep things nice and color coordinated. That's the word. That's why I went with the green tile. But I still like the fact that we have that colored tile as like a border around the top. Just add a bit more interest. But I think we might call it a day. Max is so sluggish. I do want to thank you guys though very much for hanging out with me and for watching and being here. I do appreciate it. Good luck with your interview, Sniper Echo as well. I'm sure it's probably gone, but I'm just wishing him good luck again. I will be back on again tomorrow. We'll pick up where we left off here. We'll do a bit more texturing and a few more assets. We're getting there, slowly but surely. We are getting there. We'll be able to start bringing this into Eon View soon. Sniper Girl says, can't believe it. You're getting closer and closer to finishing. I know. Can you believe it? You're quite welcome. I want to thank you guys though for very much for hanging out and watching and being here. I do appreciate it. I do remember if you're watching the channel and you enjoyed the stream, please remember to follow me on my Twitch channel at PhilDoes3D. You can also follow me on Twitter if you like at PhilDoes3D there as well. No, she can't believe it. She just said, cheeky. I'd give you a full slap, but it's the end of the stream. I'll see you guys again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific in the US. See you guys.